All right, everyone, I am back. So I've been wanting to do this video for some time now. So who are the biggest promoters of water fluoridation in Virginia? Well, that's going to be the Virginia Department of Health. They're the one peddling this nonsense with the help of a nonprofit called Virginia Health Catalyst. And they will use words such as fluoride may be found in nature, knowing good and well the type of fluoride that I've been discussing with them is artificial fluoridation called hydrofluorosilicic acid. We are not talking about naturally occurring calcium fluoride. So they like to, drum up these, this imagery of a beautiful mountain and a stream, in the Shenandoah Valley or something like that, right? Fluoride may be found in nature. Well, yeah, and the tooth fairy may exist, right? I mean, they're so ridiculous. So anyway, they will come up with different names for hydrofluorosilicic acid, such as they'll call it a compound. They'll say this is an element, as if that makes it, somehow magically safe, or a mineral. You name it, they've tried it, right? They can't seem to land on a word that magically makes this contaminant a good thing. So that's why, whatever word you use, they're going to be dissatisfied. If you call it a contaminant, they're like, no, 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 just because that's what EPA defines it as. Don't use that word. Okay, you call it a medication. No, 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 just because the House committee calls it a medication, we can't use that word. So I call it a chemical. No, no, no. Just because the company that sells this stuff calls it a chemical doesn't mean that that's what we should use. Then they call it a compound, and then they say, no, no, no. Just because it's a compound, that doesn't mean. So it doesn't matter. Call it whatever you want. Call it fairy dust for all I care, right? The point is that they would like to use a name that you're unfamiliar with, right? Just like they like to say that fluoride may be found in nature, leading you to believe that the type of fluoride that's in the drinking water is naturally occurring fluoride. In some areas, yes, but not in Henrico and not in Richmond, and that is what we are talking about. So, what do they like to call it? They like to call it a mineral, right? As if that makes it better. I believe asbestos is a mineral. I believe lead is a mineral. There's a lot of minerals. Isn't arsenic a mineral? Just because something is a mineral doesn't make it good, right? So, yeah, I've been having conversations with folks tied to various health departments, and they say that the health department operates like the mafia when it comes to water fluoridation. Now, why would they do that? Why would they, say, sure, you can remove fluoride from your drinking water, but don't be surprised if you're going to have problems with your waterworks permit. Sure, you can remove fluoride from your drinking water, or rather stop adding it, right? Because this isn't naturally occurring fluoride, so it's not really like they're removing it. You just have decided to stop adding the contaminant. And so the health department say, yeah, but don't be surprised. You might have a problem with that next sanitary survey. So why is the health department acting like the mafia, right? That is my question. Could it be because when word gets out that the health department has made bad recommendations, that perhaps those people should be fired, or maybe the health department should be dismantled? Is that why they're doing this? They're trying so desperately to protect their image. But what they don't know is that the longer and longer they stay on this bandwagon of fluoride may be found in nature, it just undermines their trust and their credibility. I'm telling you, People will respect them a lot more if they just come clean with this. The same goes for the county of Henrico. The county of Henrico has no idea why they're doing this. They just say, oh, we follow VDH's guidance. And I say, but why? And they're like, I don't know. They don't have any evidence for the purpose, the justification, the adverse events, nothing, right? So I thought I would dive in a little bit deeper to Virginia Department of Health and the type of nonsense that they peddle to the public, because this is where Henrico is getting their, well, fluoride may be found in nature, talking points. Is from Virginia Department of Health. And Virginia Department of Health works with a nonprofit called Virginia Health Catalyst that promote fluoride. Now, Virginia Health Catalyst, they don't even understand how fluoride works, right? Why on God's green acres is anyone listening to Virginia Department of Health or Virginia Health Catalyst when they don't even understand the biological mechanisms of this contaminant slash additive slash compound slash mineral slash discharge slash waste byproduct slash drug slash mass medication? You name it, they say it. Okay, so anyway, let's take a look at what Virginia Department of Health says about water fluoridation. We're going to break this down. So I hope you stay through the whole video, because afterwards you will understand why Henrico County and the city of Richmond and many other localities are brainwashed. It's because Virginia Department of Health are feeding them nonsense, right? Fluoride is not a nutrient. Hydrofluorosilicic acid is not a nutrient. There is nothing in the body that requires fluoride. There's nothing in the body that requires hydrofluorosilicic acid, okay? This is not natural. This does not promote health in the body, not by any stretch of the imagination, okay? Does it have a purpose? Yes, but just because somebody has toenail fungus, you don't want to remove your whole foot. You could have a purpose. The purpose of removing the foot is to get rid of the toenail fungus. Just because something has a purpose and it works doesn't make it a great idea to do. Right? Anyway, let's get started, okay, guys?